There are a lot of questions in my mind. Did I choose a wrong path? Am I going to make my parents proud? Do I need to follow my passion? Is this going to be a good decision? How am I going to be there? I need to be alone there. Like it's completely different. We always used to see alone, hang out with colleagues, maybe in a busy schedule. Just go with it. I got placed in Bachelor's of Technology with a free seat. I just want to become a software engineer.
I was just driving home from work one day. I didn't do anything differently than I'd ever done before. It was just heavy on my heart. And I started thinking about how different life could have been if it hadn't been for my grandmother. Coming from a small town, I just knew that there weren't any opportunities there from an employment standpoint that realistically I could do.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Please be advised. Please be advised. Ongoing track maintenance.
I didn't find my way for a long time. There were a lot of nights of not knowing where my next meal is going to come from. I'm a kid in the hood with no financial backing. I wanted to break that generational cycle where we're living check to check for the rest of our lives. To have no hot water and to continue to push through that, it is really, really hard.
I'm gonna start working on some garage door automation. All right, let's see what happens. Hopefully, we'll open the door, and then the garage door should open shortly after that. Well, looks like we're back to the drawing board now. Some of the joys of home automation and IT. When things work, it can be really rewarding. There are times that you just kind of have to take it and step away.
Yep. Keep trying. I'm sure you'll get it.
Daddy, watch me.
Woo! Good job, bud.
I was born prematurely. I was in the hospital for the first 6 months of my life. My family actually got the phone call from the doctors that they didn't think I was going to make it through the night. There's so many events from my childhood that I recall. Kind of look at that and you go, hey, that's not how things are supposed to be.
Yeah.
I would have probably been like 7 or 8 years old. I was allowed to go visit my mother. She lived in a school bus. All the seats were removed and there were a couple beds in there and it was set up like a makeshift home.
How you doing?
Fine, handsome.
I missed you.
I miss you too.
Don't worry, I'm strong.
I knew you were. Good. How many children you got?
We have one daughter right now.
Is that a daughter?
That's my daughter.
That's your daughter.
Yeah.
When you looking at the calendar, that's cute. That's
Do you remember now? Your great-granddaughter?
oh, daddy, daddy.
Okay. You want the blanket? I love where I'm from. I grew up in the Bronx. When you grow up in those types of neighborhoods, it's not always productive to stay. Mom worked sometimes 2 or 3 jobs. I was used to her working at least 2 jobs. I thought that's what work looked like. And even with that, you know, sometimes the lights still went out.
Growing up in the South Bronx, it was rough. Those were the 90s and there was a lot going on. Hanging out in the streets is not something I wanted for you guys.
That's why I said I have good parents.
Do you remember these days?
I do remember.
Yeah.
Not this, I don't remember. Pretty much described myself as a loser socially until I was in like high school. I wasn't the cool kid at all. I was bullied a lot, made fun of. I got beat up in first grade, and after that, I was just really scared. None of the kids liked me.
It definitely shaped you to be who you are.
Yeah, I was just scared, that's all. I was just scared all the time.
I always had to keep an eye on you. You struggled a little bit in finding your way through school. And you know what? If you really think about it, when you were younger, the Atari game came out, and you used to be in your walker, you know, playing video games. You was always the one who took things apart, you know, to put them back together. You always analyze things.
Yeah, that's my superpower within it.
You know?
Analysis, problem solving. Even if I wasn't the smartest kid, I always knew I could do that.
I find it a bit challenge to get adapted to this new big city. I live in a hostel. I'm sharing my room with 3 people here. It made me felt uncomfortable initially. From my home place in a bus or train, it will take around 16 to 18 hours. I have never been into this big city, Bangalore. I just heard about its great opportunity for the people who are starting their careers in IT. The language is different here. The language we speak is Telugu, and here the people will speak in Kannada. So how do I communicate with them? I'll be traveling to my office. Here traffic is like hell. So you're good with the platform?
It's going very well actually. I want to be best in what I do and I can enjoy my life at the same
You're
time.
enjoying your freedom, far away from parents.
Yeah. They want me to get married.
Oh, nice.
I feel I'm too young to get married. What about you?
My parents also want me to get married, but I just need to grow in my professional career first. I want to be independent.
Okay.
It's not to depend on anyone, even on my husband. My parents were like completely stick on to arranged marriage, not giving me a chance to find someone. What do you prefer, arranged or you will find someone for yourself?
Go with the flow.
Oh. They used to ask my parents, like, how can you send a girl alone to this place, new place, she'll be alone there.
When I went to my home, my father was telling in front of my relatives that like I am the first girl who completed her engineering and who got job.
Just because we are into this IT, we just came here, right? And from here, we are just searching for the new opportunities.
If IT was not there, this boom of female employees joining, I don't think this would have happened. Like in our office also, it's nothing like that. No differentiation
no
actually.
Differentiation. Directors, partners, women directors we have, women partners we have.
We are able to experience a life in a way that we could not have imagined before. I can live my dreams in whatever way I like. This word independence, I just love it.
My mom came from a different generation. After marriage, you just need to be completely dependent on your husband. India is developing. People are getting into a mindset that there is no inequality between man and woman. I know that one day will come where I just need to stand on myself.
You got it. Oh, good job.
What did Miss House do for Valentine's Day?
We give each other Valentine cards.
You didn't get any, did you?
I did.
From who?
From Jaden and Caleb.
So you got Valentine stuff from 2 boys?
Yeah, and they both have a crush on me.
Oh.
Jaden has a crush on you. Yes, he does.
And you don't either, right?
Yes, you do, Caleb.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Is Caleb older than you, or is... No, I'm older than Caleb. I was just about to say, are you older than Caleb?
I did grow up in a smaller town. There's just over 1,000 people in Red Boiling Springs. I was 1 or 2 when my grandparents got custody of me. They really tried not to cause me to have any ill will toward my biological parents, but it was created naturally. It's either a police report or like a newspaper article mentioning that my father had beaten my mother while she was pregnant with me. My parents both had a history of drugs and alcohol. That caused some difficulties with my mom's pregnancy, which is what caused the cerebral palsy. My grandfather is really who's responsible for not allowing me to make excuses for my disability. If I said, I can't do this, he would say, well, you're at least gonna try before you say you can't. My grandfather passed away of a massive heart attack. Shortly after, my grandmother suffered a major stroke. At that point, it was almost like I had lost both of the parents that were taking care of me. The way my grandparents raised me up, it was always about how can you overcome it. I knew from a pretty early age that I was going to do something related to computers and IT, but I never really imagined being able to take this career path.
I was a very curious child. I wanted to be like a software engineer and solve problems using technology. I was smaller than the other kids and younger than everybody else. I was considered like a loser or a nerd in school. Felt somewhat isolated, especially when I moved with my dad. I was 11 years old when I moved to Jamaica, Queens with my dad and lived a very different life there. My high school was one of the worst schools in Queens. I mean, metal detectors to come into the school, kids were getting stabbed, and it got really ugly. Did you ever think I'd be working in tech the way I am now?
I kind of knew which way you guys were going.
I was pretty obsessed with the computer back in the studio apartment, figuring out how to troubleshoot the internet at like 11 years old. And if you remember when I first got here,
I only had the studio at that time. You don't know, every night I'd look at Terrell right there, and I'd look at you and ask God to get me out of here.
I actually did see you up sometimes at night when I would wake up in the middle of the night. Yeah, I used to think, I was like, this old people don't sleep, man. That's what I used to think. I was like, you weren't even old.
No, I don't think you ever stopped being a parent.
I think my shell is softened, especially after having a daughter. I definitely did have a very hard shell before, especially where the demographic I was living in and the area I was living in, you know, it was like, okay, outside it's dangerous. But now, where I've lived over these last 2 years, living in Jersey City, I haven't needed to do that. I can just be me. It was weird not having to be like that anymore, just to survive. When my parents weren't able to send me away to school, I got lost. I just decided to go back to the Bronx and focus on letting out all of my teenage angst.
Even in your busy schedule, you should take your time where you can just find yourself. I came from Amlapuram. Growing up there, it's more in the traditional culture, more attached to my parents, closely bonded to our relatives as well. I definitely miss my mom's food there. The spices they use in our hometown. My father will always spend some time in his garden. After coming here, I felt very lonely. అందరూ అడుగుతూ ఉంటారు ఎందుకు ఒకదాన్నే పంపిస్తున్నా అని చెప్పి. అదే నీకు తెలుసు కదా మామూలుగా ఫస్ట్ నుంచి నేను ఇలా సాఫ్ట్వేర్ అవ్వాలి, ఇండిపెండెంట్ గా ఉండాలి,
పెళ్లి చేసుకునే మంచి జీవితం మీకు రావాలి. ఎప్పుడు చేసుకుంటావు?
అండ్ తర్వాత మేబీ మాస్టర్స్ చేయాలి, ఇంకా తర్వాత మీరు అనుకున్నట్టు మ్యారేజ్ చేసుకుంటాను.
మేము 1 year లో చెయ్యాలని అనుకుంటున్నాం. చూస్తున్నాం, ఇప్పుడు నుంచి చూస్తున్నా, తొందరలోనే చెయ్యాలని అనుకుంటున్నా. అలా ఉంటుంది కానీ అలవాటు చేసుకోవాలి, తప్పదు ఎవరికైనా.
మా మ్యారేజ్ గురించి మాట్లాడుకుంటున్నా కాబట్టి నువ్వు డాడీని మ్యారేజ్ చేసుకున్నప్పుడు ఎన్ని ఇయర్స్ నీకు?
నాకు 18 years. వరకు అమ్మాయిలు కాలేజీకి వెళ్ళాలన్నా భయపడేవారు,
అవును,
ఇంట్లో పంపించేవారు కాదు. కానీ ఇప్పుడు అమ్మాయిలు ఇలా ఉండటం మాకు చాలా సంతోషంగా ఉంది. ధైర్యంగా పేరెంట్స్ కూడా ఉంది, అక్కడ అంత దూరం
అంతా తెలుస్తుంది కదా ఎడ్యుకేషన్ నుంచే మొత్తం.
ఎందుకంటే పేరెంట్స్ గా మిమ్మల్ని కన్నాం కాబట్టి మిమ్మల్ని ఆ సంతోషాన్ని అది అన్ని సార్లు కూడా మేము అన్నా మాకు దృష్టి అది.
It's going to become true. Everything which I dreamt for. To be strongly independent, even financially, where I can support my parents.
I think we've all made some mistakes or decisions that we're not proud of. I was a terrible kid, and it's weird for me to look back on it and be like, man, that's the kind of kid I was. I had a good mentor in my career. His name's BJ Baskerville. I remember how negative I was, and I remember the day that you pulled me into a conference room and you said, do you like this job? Do you want to keep working here? Because if you do, you need to act like it. I remember just being so upset.
I saw more in you than you saw in yourself.
Yeah, I can't deny that.
You needed that boost to see that differently, and not one that's just hyping you up and telling you what you wanted to hear.
Yeah.
But what you needed to hear to foster your, your career. Because you thought you knew it all. I think about it all the time. Wow, this is just day and night how you now are this person that has bloomed and blossomed into this great, caring, loving individual when it wasn't always that way.
I don't even know how to put into words how thankful I am.
I've seen how you started your career, your mindset, and here you are today being this impactful leader in your space. And now you have the opportunity to provide this to your own family. That means a lot, Tuck. That means a whole lot because it's truly not common. You saw the lack of diversity. You saw the discrimination. It's bigger than tech to see you then say, hey, I'm about to get married. To say, hey, and she already has a kid, and your mindset against that changed, and just because you became a responsible adult, Tuck, I have hope that things will be better.
Can I give you a hug, Eva?
Yes, big baby. Don't fall. Thank you, man.
Thank you. I love you.
Love you, love you, love you.
Whenever I'm missing my parents, I'll just ask my friend Lavanya to come here and pick me up. She's working in IT too. I trained my mind and myself that you just now need to learn how to be independent. I made myself confident enough that whatever happens, it's for the best. ఇంట్లో ఏమన్నా మ్యారేజ్ గురించి మాట్లాడుతున్నారా?
అది కూడా కొంచెం విలేజ్ టైప్ కాబట్టి సిటీలో ఎలా ఉంటారో ఏంటో ఎందుకు అంత టైం తీసుకోవడము.
యాక్చువల్లీ ఇప్పుడున్న జనరేషన్లో మళ్ళీ భయం వాళ్ళకి.
ఇప్పుడు అసలు పేరెంట్స్ చూపించిన వాళ్ళు చేసుకోవట్లేదని ఒక భయం. కాకపోతే ఒకసారి ఆ ఫేజ్లోకి వెళ్ళిపోతే ఇవన్నీ మిస్ అయిపోతాం కదా. అంటే ఒంటరిగా ఉండాలి ఇక్కడ దూరంగా ఫస్ట్ టైం అని చాలా ఏదోలా అనిపించేది. ఇక్కడ ఏమంత తెలీదు ఏదో. తర్వాత ఇంక నువ్వు వచ్చాక
సో నువ్వు ఎప్పుడైనా కూడా నీ పేరెంట్స్ని మిస్ అయినా ఇంటిని మిస్ అయినా నా దగ్గరికి వచ్చేయి. ఇద్దరు కొంచెం కలిసి ఉంటే నీకు ఆ లోన్లీ ఫీలింగ్ పోతుంది.
అది ఉన్నావని నాకు తెలుసు. ఎప్పుడు అలాగే మంచిగా ఉండాలని. వీళ్ళేంటి ఇంకా స్టాప్ చెప్పట్లేదు. షూటింగ్ అని మర్చిపోయి మరి తిండి మీద కాన్సన్ట్రేషన్ చేస్తున్నాను.
You just need to be strong now. Definitely you are going to be success in your future.
I just want to try to be able to make sure that I work hard while I can in hopes to be able to retire early if I needed to.
I mean, I just sit and kind of take it all in and think. I mean, look at the houses that we were living in when we met each other, and then I never thought that I'd live in a beautiful home like this. Look at our life now, full of blessings.
And for me, being able to find something that, despite my disability, you know, something that I can do that gives us a good lifestyle. You know, this allows us to be able to give our kids a life that I don't even know if we could have dreamed of it. Hopefully, the kids don't ever have to really know what struggle is from that aspect.
My wife has always been my frontline cheerleader.
We were kind of stuck after the pandemic as like, what was he going to do?
She was like, why not try this program? Let's see where it takes you. So I was able to find my gateway into the tech space. Now, I mean, the opportunities are endless. I can work anywhere in the world. I can provide for my family on levels that I never imagined.
Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and little baby bear led a peaceful life in their secluded home. One morning,
it was time to hit the road. Just a boy in working boots. It didn't work, so you cut him loose. Hey, I had a girl, you thought it through, and what you did, it was hard to do.
Love you, Chalama.
Thinking about some things that you shouldn't. Just